Yo, so it's been a minute since I last talked to y'all niggas. I believe my last video was in June or July, I believe, right before King Carson dropped X. It's been a minute. A lot of albums have dropped. Ken dropped X, Destroy Lonely dropped No Stylist, Summers dropped Fallen Raven, and by the time I'm recording this, it is November 11th, the day that Sofaygo has dropped his long-awaited album, Pink Hearts. I've been waiting on Pink Hearts for a very long time, and since it's finally here, I thought, why not come back to YouTube and make a video about it? No intro, I know. I'll be making a new one in the future. That'll come very soon. But I mainly had to just come back to just talk about the current state of the underground and how all these artists have been doing as well. Lucky, I forgot about Lucky, he dropped FLM as well. So it started all back with this album, X, by King Carson. King Carson dropped X. There were very mixed emotions about it because people were overwhelmed by the surprising release of No Stylist by Destroy Lonely, in which a lot of people like to compare Ken and Lone, which I don't really like that because they are a great duo together, you know. People like to say that Lone has the better album. I'm one of those people that say X is better. I know, strike me for it. But with the release of all these albums, it brought this idea or question into my mind, and like, who is the current top king of the underground? Because we got Flawless Like Me by Lucky, in which he sold 22K with that. Shout out to Lucky on that. He's finally into the mainstream now. We know he's dropped another project this year with Life that sold about 32K. He sold 34K in the beginning of the year with Two Alive. So Yeet has been doing pretty good. He's been streaming pretty crazy. But with those two artists now out of the underground, and we're about to have Faygo out of the underground. For good. He's gonna make some sales first week and whatnot. It just raises a question of who is the current leader or front runner for the underground. There's a lot of names you could throw out there. You got Ken Carson, you got Lone, you got Summrs, you got Jace. There's just a lot of names you can throw out there. A lot of my friends like to say that it's Ken or Summrs. As of right now, I would say personally me, it's Ken, because obviously I really like this album. I just think he has a lot of buzz behind him, you know, with him being signed to Playboy Carti's label along with Lone. He's getting a lot of push. He's getting a lot of, you know, love from Carti fans as well, because, you know, anybody that Carti brings attention to, people are gonna lock their eyes on. There was speculation of an artist by the name of Glock 40 Spaz that had some speculation of being signed to Opium, but he just recently got some charges, so I don't know if that deal is even on the table anymore. But yeah, the moral of the story is that if you got Carti around you, if you are affiliated with him, whatever, you have some backing up within the Opium Soldiers and all those different fans or whatever. I will be giving out a top 10 album list at the end of the year. I can't wait to put that out because I'm gonna put a lot of effort into that video. But I was just gonna quickly go over like each of the underground or the known names that we know in the underground and some of the guys that have gone mainstream now. Just quickly review over the album. Yeet with Two Alive, I feel like it's a really good project. Spoilers, that's probably gonna be in the top 10 for the top 10 albums. We got Fallen Raven by Summrs. Pretty good project overall to me. I like few misses here and there, but I feel like it's overall probably, I wouldn't say it's his best work. I think Nothing More Nothing Less is his best work, but still an overall good project by Summrs. And I heard he just recently got signed to the same label that Trippie Redd is on. So I've been hearing snippets of them where they might have a couple songs together. So hey, the new project, he's been teasing this new project called Stuck in My Ways, and I'm pretty sure he's probably gonna have some mainstream features on it. If not, he's gonna at least have Trippie Redd on it. So kind of looking forward to it. Don't know how it's gonna sound, if he's gonna balance with it, but definitely looking forward to it. We got No Stylist by Destroy Lonely, in which I think No Stylist, the song, is probably a top 10 song of this year. The album itself, the album has some hits. It does. But I feel like the second half of No Stylist just doesn't really click for me. So that's why I think that X is the better album than No Stylist. But don't get me wrong, I still like No Stylist. There's still some songs that are in my rotation till this day. A lot of people have been sleeping on Uno. His album Limbus 3. Probably another top 10 album this year as well. It has a lot of rage on it, in which I know some people don't really like that or really go for that style. But throughout the past 2 years, has shown himself to be a pretty versatile artist, in which the year 2021, which was last year, I believe he dropped around 4 or 5 tapes. Nigga was putting in a lot of work, huge work ethic. I definitely think he has the sleeper album of this year. I've pretty much heard no bad things about it yet so far. Also, Lancey Foe put together a masterpiece, and I'm willing to stand on that. I used to hate when people would throw around the Cardi comparisons to Lancey, calling the UK Cardi, because they remotely don't really make the same type of music. At least with this album, Lancey has shifted his trajectory to a whole different planet, especially the second half of this album. It's pretty lengthy with 22 songs, but at least personally to me, it's worth the length. He definitely stepped out of a comfort zone in which he's tried things before in the past, but he's taken a further step out, which these other underground artists don't want to take, and he's made some good songs off of it as well. So I think Lancey probably might have one of the best underground albums this year. Forgot about King. Way Too Geeked. Shit was trash. You know who else has been going crazy this year? Jace. One of my homeboys told me if it wasn't for Jace snitching, he would most definitely be the best in the underground. And you know what? I could not argue with that. I literally could not argue with that, because I can really see that. Jace, even though he drops like every fucking week, that nigga has been putting out some good shit. I'm not gonna lie. The song Ding-a-ling, which was kind of like a Key tribute, or you know, just like a mention or whatever. RP Key. Songs like Motion, songs like Ben. Like, he just put out a lot of good. He put out a lot of good stuff. And I know he's dropping like EPs every 2 weeks or whatever, whether it's on SoundCloud or streaming services. You're gonna find some songs on there that you like for sure. So I think Jace right now is sitting at probably number 3 for best underground artist right now. Maybe you can put Summrs at 2 and then Ken at 1. So that would probably be my top 3. But yeah, I think the underground is in a pretty good state as of right now. We got other artists coming up such as Dom Corleo, K.O. Banks. We got a lot of new upcomers that's making their way up. But enough about them other niggas. Let's talk about what this video is really about, which is Pink Hearts. So Sofaygo dropped his project After Me in late 2020, December 2020, I believe. So he had fans waiting for a long time, and in that process, a couple months after he dropped After Me, he signed to Cactus Jack, which was a big move for him, very big move for someone like Travis Scott to notice his work and pretty much get him a deal. But the question is, why did he take so long to drop this album? Now, I don't think it was Faygo's fault in particular. Yes, I do think he wanted to take his time. He made tweets about that for sure, saying good music takes time and whatnot. But people gotta think though, it's not really up to Faygo himself whether he wants to drop his album or not, because Cactus Jack is a big label. They want to make sure they roll it out very well, make sure they promote everything, because I remember like months and months and months before I would see like promotion ads of Sofaygo just like kind of everywhere on my timeline. So they wanted to get his name out there fully for sure before they dropped this project, because they wanted to do good. In that process though, there was a lot of stuff that happened, including like the Astroworld incident, which that kind of put everything on hold, so you kind of have to play that into factor. But yeah, it's finally here. Question of my last video was, will Pink Hearts live up to the hype? In which turns into the question, does it live up to the hype? In which I will be honest, as a Sofaygo fan, it's a bit disappointing. I will be honest, it's a bit disappointing. My first initial thoughts and review, I gave it pretty much a 6 out of 10. In which that's not really good for, you know, making your fans wait 2 years, even though he put out a little EP just to hold the fans over. In which I knew a lot of people weren't gonna mess with this album in particular, especially the old fans looking for the old Faygo, you know. But he's moving past that. He's in a different direction now. He's signed to Travis Scott, one of the biggest artists in the world. He's transitioning his sound into a more mainstream sound. He's trying to get his music played out. He's trying to get his music played in different places. You know, he's not gonna keep making songs like Hearse and Chopper Melodies and Let the Girl Slay and Seven. He's not gonna keep making songs like that. He's not gonna keep making music like that. He's gotta elevate. A lot of people were on Cardi's case because of what he dropped for Whole Lotta Red. But if we're being honest, if Cardi were to have stayed on that same path that he was on with Die Lit and Self-Titled, he wouldn't have made any progression. Cardi would have gotten stale if he hadn't switched it up. That's why he was taking a lot longer with Whole Lotta Red to be put out. And plus the fact he got like 20 songs leaked in 2019, however many songs he got leaked. You can't really continue the same style forever because people are gonna get bored and they're gonna move on to somebody else. And in the underground, that happens a lot with people. People move on. Next person drops, they move on to that person. Next person after that drops, they move on to that person. It's a continuing cycle, which is why I appreciate Cardi for taking his time with that. And I'm even more excited for his next album. But yeah, the thing with Faygo, man, people can't expect that 2019, 2020 Sofaygo anymore. They can't expect that. Now, there were some duds on that album that I didn't really like. Even though I enjoyed that album, I do have my criticisms of Faygo. Could work on his lyrical content. There were some moments on the album where he was being kind of stale with his message and his content with it. Production seemed alright for the most part. As I said before, he's going with that mainstream sound. So yeah, it was just a little opener project to see how the fans were feeling. You know, some of these hardcore fans are gonna overreact and say, oh, this isn't it. He's gonna go downhill. Sofaygo's gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine. He just has to learn what makes him comfortable as an artist, see what he can improve on, and continue to flourish through that, and people will catch on eventually. But yeah, that's pretty much been it for me this video. I will be coming back with more videos. I will try to be consistent. I know I was gone for a very long time. I will be coming back. We got tier lists coming, we got top 10s coming, especially my top 10 albums of the year. I can't wait for that video. But yeah, expect more in the future. It's your boy Go Mill. We up.